Hello and welcome everyone to the ISCA as we tackle the Saturday Super Cup Series. We're entering of course, the deep into the playoffs as we are going to be having a cutoff race here this evening. Can't wait to see who is actually going to be going home, who's going to be going on to the next round here. Of course, we have heard some unfortunate news that Josh Schaffner, who is one of the guys that really is out there fighting for his life when it comes to the playoffs, is not going to make it here due to an injury. Unfortunate to hear that for sure. And also, I do believe Chris Johnson might not be able to be here either because I think he might be going to the race. Not sure exactly what's going on there. Maybe he'll show up, but he's another one that is really, if he does not show up here tonight, is not going to be moving on to the next round. Very good news for people like, I'd say, maybe even a Gary Adamson. Definitely could be good for him for sure. But my name is Brian Britt, and of course, as always, joined in the booth by Big Al. How are you doing this evening, my friend?
Hey, doing pretty good, Brian. Just waiting for another exciting road race that we're going to be bringing to you guys here this evening. This looks like we're going to be tackling the Roval here at Charlotte, so can't wait to get that going. I also believe there's some playoff implications that could be on the line. You going to run down that one?
Yeah, that's literally what I was just talking about. I was just talking about how Chris Johnson and Josh Schaffner might not show up here tonight, and that would effectively make them to where they're outside of the playoffs. So that's going to have some big implications here. Of course, most of the drivers out there are pretty safe and secure, so no one really coming into tonight's race is going to be too worried about it. Even Frank Flores, who we have on the qualifying screen right now, I do believe just because he's here tonight, we'll move on to the next round. So we'll have to wait and see. Of course, the results could vary by the end of this thing, depending on who gets bonus points for stages and whatnot. But we'll have to wait and see. As we did see a lot of things happening on Thursday that kind of kicked guys out of the playoffs, and definitely unfortunate for those guys. It's going to be the same kind of feelings we're going to get here tonight. Of course, we have a little bit over 7 minutes in qualifying left. Let's take a look at the race facts of what we're going to have to deal with this evening. We got, I believe, 55 laps these guys are going to have to do, 125 miles here. Stages are going to be 11 and 22, ending, of course, 55 going to 56. 5 sets of tires, 4 down actually in the pits. But from what we saw on Thursday, the race-winning strategy was not to take tires at all. We saw our winner, Matt DeCiani, do exactly that. Fuel window is 25 laps, so that is something we're going to have to keep an eye on. Going to have some varying strategies in that late stage where we could see some guys pit at different times, Big Al.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's going to be key. We did notice drivers did actually have a little issues there on pit road on Thursday, so hopefully they'll be able to stay clean tonight because that is definitely going to be one thing that they're going to have to keep in contention. Looks like Pedro Enrique has the fastest lap time out on the field right now with a 1:18.862, but qualifying still early on.
Yeah, I do believe Abner Acosta was the fastest in practice, was even turned a faster lap than what we saw on Thursday, hit a minute 18-second lap, and that is probably the fastest we've seen thus far. And look at that, Pedro Enrique, just like you mentioned, able to do exactly that too in qualifying. So these guys, I think, are running faster than we saw on Thursday. Could that be as a result of the track conditions out there? I do believe it was 105 on Thursday.
Yeah, definitely. It was 105, and it did drop down into the high 90s. But right now, looks like during qualifying, that track temperature is going to be 99 degrees with the winds out of the southwest at about 5 miles an hour.
Yeah, definitely. Not as big of winds either. We saw the winds kind of being higher too. I think it was almost 12 or over 11, somewhere in there on Thursday. So much different track conditions these guys are going to have to deal with, which could be good, could be bad. It seems like it's definitely making these guys faster for sure.
Yeah, the key is going to be for these guys also to try to get both of those qualifying laps in without having conflict or running off the course. Now, you can scrub the first one there. Ooh, looks like Ryan Strunk's struggling a little bit there on his qualifying run. But yeah, you can ditch the first lap, but you really going to want to try to be clean and clear on that second lap, Brian, if you got any chance of putting down a decent lap time here.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we saw Strunk was really quick in practice. He was actually, I do believe, second quick on the board. So kind of surprised to see him struggling. But I mean, as you know, we talk about this all the time, especially in these next gen cars. The cold tires don't hold up very well. So maybe that first lap, like you said, you can throw that away to kind of get that tire up to temperature. But that makes that really you're kind of risking it a lot in a little bit of a way too, though, because if you waste that lap and you make a mistake on the last one, you're not going to have any lap to fall back on.
Yeah, and another thing too that you got to keep into consideration is tire wear here. Like you said, I mean, our leader on Thursday did not pit, so these guys are going to continually get faster as the evening does go on. As that tire wear starts to come into its own, if you will, drivers can actually be able to turn faster lap times than they are, especially the first couple of laps into this thing, because those old tires and cold tires, they're kind of alike, but not so much so here at a road course.
Yeah, definitely interesting to see if anybody's going to be able to pull out any strategies. We saw a little bit of a interesting occurrence on Thursday too, to where that first stage went a whole extra lap before the 10th place car could actually cross the start finish line. I'm hoping that's not going to be the case here this evening, because I mean that could definitely spoil the strategy that was kind of intended for tonight.
Well, it's just going to see if these guys are going to be, how many guys are going to be able to actually maintain that lead lap. Now, we did end up with, I do believe, 5 cars on the lead lap on Thursday. So we're going to be looking to see if drivers are going to be struggling a little bit here tonight, or if everybody's going to be kind of running along the same lines. Also, I see we got Joey Prevey back into the field. I hadn't seen him in a little while.
Yeah, definitely glad to have him back, and what a racetrack to come back at. Also, another new face out there, Gabriel Alejandro Cantu. We haven't seen a whole lot of him. I do believe he's with the, if I'm not mistaken, the Costa Brothers kind of team. The name escapes me right now.
Pedrera Racing Team.
That's it, yeah. And they have been really lighting it up. I mean, out of the last 3 races, Abner Acosta has won 2 of them. Can he, get it done tonight? I don't know. I think he's going to have some fresh competition out here with Pedro Enrique.
Yeah, but both of the Acosta brothers are definitely in the top 3 here for qualifying. So, Brian, I definitely think you should be able to look at them running up front here tonight, barring some kind of strange, unusual occurrence. But if they can stay clean, I mean, I think they definitely have a pretty good shot at maybe bringing this thing the second week in a row. I think that both of them will be in the top 3.
Yeah, it's definitely sending a big message to everybody out there, kind of in the locker room, I'd say, in the field, that, hey, these guys are not to be messed with, Definitely interested to see what this looks like here. One thing about it, though, Big Al, I know a lot of times we miss stuff in the broadcast here, and we get to see a lot of what actually happened after the broadcast. We kind of, sit with the fellas as they review all of the incidents that kind of happened. And we learned some things. And one thing I think that we did learn was the toe links breaking a whole lot here. We saw Greg Wyszynski kind of smash into the wall. Really didn't get to see that as much on the broadcast. We also saw some other guys like Don Avery smack the wall pretty hard.
Yeah, it's definitely difficult, because sometimes it seems like I'm doing this all by myself, but, so I can't catch everything. If only I had
just by yourself, huh? Just by yourself, huh? I hate you. Man, that's funny, though. But let's go ahead and take that step away here, Big Al. I think it's time for that national anthem, kind of to cut the tension in here between me and you.
Yeah.
Race fans, it is time for those most famous words in motorsports.
Driver, start your engine!
At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two, like how nice it is to switch and save on your auto policy. But it's even nicer knowing that if this happens, or this happens, or this, or even this, we've seen and covered it. So call 1-800-FARMERS to switch your auto policy and you could save an average of $470. Get a quote today.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Woo! Papa John's just took their fresh, never frozen dough and hand stretched it into thin, oversized New York-style slices. I mean, look at that crust. That is the perfect crust thickness no matter how you eat it. So you can fold it or not. But I ain't gonna lie though, I fold it. Get a New York-style pizza from Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We have the grid set for this evening's action. Pedro Enrique on the pole here with Abner Acosta on the outside pole. Third place is going to be Jose Acosta with Ryan Strunk in fourth place. Fifth place is going to be Gary Adamson with Frank Flores in that sixth place position. Seventh place, Gabriel Alejandro Cantu. Eighth place is going to be Don Avery. Ninth place, Joey Preby. And rounding out our top 10 here is Thomas O'Hara.
Yeah, that's going to put Kendall LeBron in 11th, Kenny Powell in 12th, Stephen Piero going to be in 13th, and Paula Osen rounds out that 14-car field as we are lined up side by side here. Lights are off on the pace car. I think we're going to be going green here momentarily, but drivers are definitely going to have to make this parade lap. And that can even prove to be a little challenging here, as this track was definitely not meant to be side by side, which is brings me to my next point, Brian. It's definitely not going to be very easy to pass here.
Yeah, definitely not. And curious enough, we have a delayed green here, so I do believe we're going to have to go around one more time. So I'm not sure what's going on here. Maybe a little bit of some problems when it comes to the gridding here. Maybe guys not in the correct order. Not sure what's happening here, but we'll keep you apprised of the situation if any kind of thing comes to you know, our knowledge, or you know, we'll have to wait and see as we see these guys out here gridding, kind of going to be I say raising the tension a little bit, wouldn't you say, Big Al?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it's going to be doing. A lot of drivers here that are on this field tonight really just need a good, solid finish because, like you were saying, with the absence of so many other contenders here, it's going to make this playoff race wide open. So Big Al is going to be interesting to see how many of these guys can actually capitalize on the situation they got here tonight and prolong and preserve their playoff runs.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of guys coming in this race going to be a little bit more, I'd say, on the calmer side, just considering knowing that they don't have to race too hard. But, of course, that means that, you know, they're racing. I mean, they're still racers. They're going to try to do as good as they can and try to put it, you know, be as fast as they possibly can. It doesn't matter if a playoff slot is on the line or not. They're going to be definitely putting it all in. And definitely wish that those guys would be here to kind of make it somewhat of a fight, but unfortunately, you know, life happens. Definitely a solid message sent by the 114 to the rest of this field saying, hey, I am the man out here. You know, his best lap, minute 18.434. That is insanely fast at this racetrack.
Yeah, that's pretty good, you know, but Big Al runs.
It's not Big Al time, you know.
Yeah, Big Al runs in the 112s.
What do you got, a jet on that thing?
Hey, man, you know, sometimes you just got to do things the Big Al way. No, but seriously, though, that is definitely a blazing fast lap time, and hopefully we'll be able to see if Abner can actually get up there and make something happen with that as well. It's going to be interesting to see how Pedro and Abner both take off here and how they negotiate as well as navigate this first turn.
Pedro Enriquez looks like, I do believe he hails from Brazil here. Look at his road eye rating, 3,667. I think that's the highest in the field.
Yeah, he did run. He ran with us at, I believe, Watkins Glen as well, and kind of came out and put on a mini clinic. So if he can keep that thing clean, though, I definitely think he's definitely going to have a little bit of competition down there, though, Brian. You cannot sleep on the talent level of some of these guys in this league.
100%. Well, it looks like we should be getting green flag here any moment as we're going through the infield section. The pace car lights are out. Have to see what the plan is going to be as we exit onto the oval portion. One thing I noticed a lot too, we were talking about kind of things we don't notice in the broadcast, we kind of notice outside of it. When I was watching some of the replays those guys have, you know, for after the race, you could really see the elevation changes, not even just in the oval portion, but in the infield. There's some hills like that first corner, Big Al, and when you're going kind of in towards pit road, that actually goes up quite a bit when it comes to elevation, and a lot of guys said that was one of the difficult places.
Yeah, absolutely, and you know, they're spot on. These guys do have quite a bit of elevation changes, and the car is going to be pitching, and it's going to be, you know, swaying. So it's just going to be awesome to see some of these guys that seem like they're just out of control now. Remember, we did actually have a little bit of contact there Thursday, so these races are without caution, but they're not without conflict, as the pace car now leads us around for what I do believe is going to be one of those nakes to the last couple of turns here before we actually get this thing green. Boy, do we ever need to go green flag racing, right?
Yeah, definitely ready to get this thing underway here as everybody side by side preparing. One thing we saw on Thursday was in turn one, Randy Drumhiller slid his tires right into the wall. Could that happen again here on this first lap? We'll have to wait and see. Pace car dipping down pit road as we enter the final chicane, and then the green flag will wave. And there it is, green flag out in the air.
Drivers got to be careful to make sure that car is pointed in the right direction before they romp down on the throttle. As Pedro Enrique leads us through to turn one.
Oh, the 42.
Jose Acosta going to be losing a little bit. That's going to cause a little bit of skirmish coming back on in the field.
And he backs up into Kendall LeBron.
Yeah, Kendall LeBron definitely probably not going to be too happy about that. Joey Preview slowly makes it around, and he is following Kendall LeBron, and hopefully Jose will be able to get that thing situated.
Yeah, got to feel bad for Kendall. I mean, probably had nothing really he could do in that situation. I mean, whenever you're sideways on the racetrack, I know, your instinct is to kick it in reverse, try to get back going as quick as you can, but you got to watch out for traffic.
Well, thank goodness it is a smaller field. Don't know how much damage, though, that's going to affect Jose Acosta in that 42 John Deere machine. He probably is definitely going to be reeling as he is definitely falling back a little bit. But Pedro Enrique, he's not showing any signs of slowing down as he is leading the other Acosta, Abner, and as they have just now got lap one in the books.
Yeah, that 114 definitely looking really strong. They haven't gotten quite up all the way to speed yet. I think this next lap is going to look really good.
Abner having trouble there. The 44 of Abner Acosta.
No.
Looks like he kind of went out the same spot that the other Acosta did.
Yeah, that's a good point. The 42 and the 44 both having the same issue right in the same spot as he gets it back going. I think that one was a little bit less severe.
Yeah, but these guys got to shake it off. You got to have a very short-term memory once you're racing here. And no matter what kind of racing you're doing, you got to get back in the saddle. Got to get that lap rhythm back in there again. These guys will have plenty of time to catch back up as this will be over here. We only got 9 laps left in this stage, so that will kind of allow them to kind of catch up. The 114 just out to, he's in a different time zone. Not sure what's going on between him and the rest of the field right there.
Yeah, he is definitely just driving away. And you mentioned it, he was here at Watkins Glen. He seemed just to be a road course ringer in a lot of regards. And, man, just putting it on. I would not be surprised to see kind of a similar picture to Thursday where we saw only 5 drivers on the lead lap. Maybe less than that here tonight.
Yeah, we're just going to have to see how this one plays out because it has already been quite the spectacle for the first stage. I mean, just with the Acosta brothers spinning out almost in the identical same place, you don't usually see that. So it'll be interested to see what actually happened with that.
Now, I'm wondering if it could have been because of the similarity in their setups. I mean, that definitely could have something to do with it.
Yeah, but those guys are putting down some pretty killer, especially Abner. He's putting down some pretty blistering lap times. He was in, oh, wow, look at that. Pedro Enrique with a 118.116 on that last lap. That's big out fast.
Yeah, definitely very, very quick. That's even faster than his qualifying run. And I think he's only going to get faster from here. I mean, it's really in the realm of possibility we see a, sub 18.
Yeah, I think he definitely, he's probably on the mark to do a sub 118. That's just, nobody wants to hear that right now.
Some battling kind of going on back here. Kenny Powell and Thomas O'Hara are right there on one another. I know Powell, I talked to him a little bit before the race. He said that he was really going to be going after a top 5, possibly even a podium. Didn't think he had the speed to win, but he definitely felt like he had consistent pace in order to maybe be able to fight for that top 5, and he's definitely well on his way. He's sitting in 8th right now, toying with 7th.
Yeah, he is coming right up on the back of Thomas O'Hara. Looks like he's going to be trying to make a move here at any time. But just not a lot of opportunity, so that's going to let LeBron slide by him as they come by the start-finish line. I think Powell was looking so far forward there that he just didn't see LeBron sneak right up on him. Instead of him gaining a spot, looks like he just lost him.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Was trying to really – he opened himself up for that in a lot of ways. And Kendall, excellent move there. Didn't have really any contact with Kenny Powell. A lot of times when you see a move like that made, there's usually somebody spinning around on the other end of it.
Yeah, look at that. Gabriel Alejandro Cantu, the other member of the Panaretta racing team, now finds himself all the way up in the 3rd place. So at least those guys still got some representation up front there.
Yeah, but no one is even holding a candle to the lap times that Pedro Enrique is. I mean, with Ryan Strunk right now, 1 minute 21 second, .954. I mean, versus Pedro Enrique, he is literally like 3 seconds faster. That is insanity. I mean, definitely crazy to see those kind of times, and it's hard for these guys to see that. I mean, wouldn't that be demoralizing to you? Your spotter coming back and telling you, like, this guy's running these kind of laps?
No, it wouldn't be demoralizing to me. I'm used to getting lapped. But anyway, where I fail, I excel in other areas. So you and I both are better up here in the booth calling the race versus being down there holding.
Oh, I'm glad I'm not down there with these guys. I don't think I would be the danger. I would be the one causing the leader to wreck whenever he goes to lap me. As we see Abner Acosta now underneath the 24. Kenny Powell is able to make that pass back. So a nice recovery for Abner. He's going to be moving up to the 9th place position.
As Powell continues to slide the wrong direction, not sure what's going on there. He's going to have Preby trying to get around him pretty soon. So Kenny better shake a leg here, otherwise he's going to find himself maybe being a chicken leg. But speaking of chicken legs, poor Jose has definitely not got that car handling the way it was. He is definitely going to have to come down pit road. Looks like maybe his contact did actually cause that car not to perform to the best of its capability. So we'll be watching him to see exactly how well he does kind of bounce back, if you will. But the 114, Brian, I don't even want to talk about. I don't think we're going to have – I think we're going to be down to like 2 cars on the lead lap when this thing's over.
Maybe not even that. I mean, the way his pace is greater than everybody by like 2-3 seconds. As we see big battling going on back here in the pack, though. Kendall LeBron tussling with Abner Acosta right now. That is for the 8th place position.
Abner's just got to pack his patience. He's doing a solid job of driving back through the field after he did spin out earlier on, back I think in lap 2 or 3. But now, he's going to do what he's going to do. But everybody's just got to be. I mean, I would just pull over, come up here in the booth, and hang out with us and watch the 114. I think that would probably be the best view that you could get right here, as he is on a tear.
Yeah, we'd have to change the name of the stream, though, to just Masterclass. Come learn with us. As Gary Adamson falls victim to Kendall LeBron, and he gets right by him, so that makes the battle now for 7th place as Abner Acosta follows Kendall right on through as they try to run down Frank Flores.
Yeah, Frank Flores, if he can just continue and be consistent here tonight, he could actually win himself an extension there in the playoff berth. So we'll be watching to see just how well he does. I do believe I heard that he was some 3 or 4 points out.
Yeah, well, also, you know, as we mentioned before, Chris Johnson and also Josh Schaffner both not being here kind of makes it a lot safer for a guy like Frank Flores. So hopefully he doesn't have to worry at all. But he still wants to have a good race here. He doesn't want to get a DNF. As we see, Abner Acosta has made the pass there on Kendall LeBron, now in 7th place.
Yeah, and he's just going to keep running up. He will next be coming up on the 8 of Frank Flores. Hopefully, Flores, he'll get by him with little to no contact. The 43 probably feeling a little bit unsettled right about now as the 114 is slowly chopping away, and he will be in his rearview mirror before this stage ends, Brian, as we are currently on lap 7 of 11 here in stage 1. So far, it's been the Pedro Enrique show as he has led every lap since the flag has waved, and he ain't really showing those signs of slowing down.
No, he definitely isn't. We're still seeing some battling up here, though, as the 11 of Don Avery starting to catch up here to the 45 of Gabriel Alejandro Cantu. Also, Abner Acosta right there on the 8 of Frank Flores. So kind of a 4-car battle right now, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, all up in the air.
I think Avery had a pretty good run on Thursday, so it'll be interesting to see if he can actually come back out here tonight, running with his compadre there, Thomas O'Hara. Maybe they'll be able to pull something off and see if he can't try to find himself a playoff slot. Man, a lot of bumping and banging going on down there.
Here comes Kendall LeBron trying to take the high side here on the 8 of Frank Flores. So battle is on.
Oh! And just like that, Gabriel blows the chicane. That's going to definitely cause him a little slowdown time. Be interested to see what Don Avery can do with that.
Now, I'm surprised he hasn't had to slow down really here yet, but he does have 2 hungry drivers right there behind him, Avery and Abner Acosta, battling it out for the top 3 here. Abner Acosta, I mean, just imagine that, how impressive that is for him to have spun like he did on lap number 2. You know, lost so many positions, fell back outside of the top 10, is now up here, soon to be fighting for a top 3.
Yeah, he is the only other driver on the racetrack that has a sub 120 lap in, so that'll just let you know about what's going on here. But 114 not showing any signs of slowing down. I'll say that again and again as he is slowly starting to reel in the 43 of Paul Olsen. Paul Olsen at that point would be the first driver to go a lap down. From the way it looks, he'll be the only driver going a lap down in this stage, but I don't believe we have wave arounds here. I don't think there's a lucky dog on the road course. Am I right on that?
I think you are. I mean, because I know on Thursday it was kind of a point that we were kind of debating about whether Paul Olsen was going to get a lucky dog, and he didn't. So that kind of answered that question. So I don't think we will see anybody get any kind of wave around or anything like that. So, you know, once you go a lap down, it sounds like you're stuck there.
And that is not where you want to spend the day. So, but Olsen, man, he's consistent. I'll give him that. He's here, and it's just a matter of time before we're actually calling him in the top 3.
Yeah, with these road courses, I mean, it's all about repetition and just getting out there and putting in practice. And you know, one thing I always heard, it really encapsulated it, was, you know, practice does not equal perfect. Perfect practice equals perfect. So, you know, you can come out here and spend a whole lot of time. And, you know, if you're practicing the wrong thing, that's what's going to get ingrained in you. So you have to make sure that you're practicing the right techniques.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that perfect practice makes perfect. That was General Petraeus, actually. David Petraeus.
Kind of see the 65 here of Joey Preby coming up to the back of Kenny Powell into 24 as they enter these chicanes. Oh, problems there.
Even Frank Flores had just lost it, and he slid up into the wall, Brian. That is definitely not going to be what he wants to do or see. Is he going to turn that thing around?
Take a look at this accident and see exactly what just happened here with the 8 of Frank. Triple F Frank Flores over here. Let's see what happened. Looks like a solid enough run. Oh, just lost it right on the exit there. He probably got back onto the gas when it wasn't straight.
Throttle control, and luckily for him, it happened at the best time as we were 1 lap to go in the stage, and he didn't break anything.
Yeah, definitely good for him. I'll tell you what, though, crazy lap times we've been seeing from Pedro Enrique. Every lap has been a sub-minute 19. He has just been running so fast.
Yeah, let's look at the 11 and the 45. These two are battling like they don't know each other and don't like each other. I mean, that the 11 of Don Avery just did make it by Gabriel Cantu there for the what would be 4th place, but they were beating and banging there for a little bit. Avery overdrives it. That's going to cause him some problems.
He into the inside wall, similar to the accident we saw for Greg Wachinski on Thursday, to where he kind of broke his toe, but that was not as hard of a hit.
No, we hadn't seen anybody yet get that meatball flag, and that's the black flag with a red repair circle in the middle of it. That's why we call it the meatball flag. So now that's going to save Gabriel Cantu. He'll actually be able to continue to run, but he got Camilo Ron in his back window, and he is going to be trying to roll him down. The 114 has already lapped the 43 of Paul Olsen, so Paul Olsen is now officially a lap down.
Seeing a big battle going on here between, I do believe, Abner Acosta and Ryan Strunk here for 2nd place. Abner on the inside gets clear of the 77, so he has already gotten back up to 2nd place. But still, our leader, Pedro Enrique, I do believe he's got 42 seconds right now on the field.
Now, if Abner can actually regroup here in this next stage, Pedro won't have that type of a lead here. We should be seeing the caution flag coming out at any moment here. Stage 1 is going to be officially in the books with Pedro Enrique definitely putting on a clinic. Abner Acosta looks like he is going to be clear as your number 2, and Ryan Strunk should have P3.
Yep, just waiting on the caution. I'm looking here, trying to see if we can talk to Pedro, but I don't believe he is able to be reached right now.
No worries. I'm sure we'll drum up somebody for you to talk to. Still waiting on this caution flag to come out. And when this field is spread out like that, you got to think the 114 has such an advantage over the rest of the field. So we're somewhat waiting around the 36 of Gary Adamson to come across the line. And you'll see, I mean, he's there it is. There's that caution. Pedro Enrique wins stage 1. Abner Acosta, P2. Ryan Strunk, P3. Gabriel Alejandro Cantu in P4. Kendall LaRon, P5. Don Avery, P6. Thomas O'Hara, 7th. Kenny Powell, 8th. Joey Preby, 9th. And Gary Adamson rounds out that top 10 points field positions for stage 1. With stage 1 in the books, Brian, why don't we take a step away, get a little word from our sponsor. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back.
At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two, like how nice it is to switch and save on your auto policy. But it's even nicer knowing that if this happens, or this happens, or this, or even this, we've seen and covered it. So call 1-800-FARMERS to switch your auto policy, and you could save an average of $470. Get a quote today.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Woo! Papa John's just took their fresh, never frozen dough and hand stretched it into thin, oversized New York-style slices. I mean, look at that crust. That is the perfect crust thickness no matter how you eat it. So you can fold it or not. But I ain't gonna lie though, I fold it. Get a New York-style pizza from Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Still have not had everybody be able to catch up to the pace car here yet, because just because of the huge gap that Pedro Enrique had created here.
I mean, it wasn't a gap. I mean, it was
almost a whole racetrack.
I mean, yeah, that gap was the size of the Grand Canyon. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you gave him a couple more laps, he would have put more people a lap down. You see Paul Olsen there on the screen. He is now a lap down. I'm not sure he'll get a wave around here, even with everybody pitting. Of course, he's probably going to end up having to pit himself. Or, you know, could we see, you know, a different strategy here tonight? We saw on Thursday to where everybody pitted on this yellow.
And if I was Paul Olsen, I would not, because he will have enough fuel to make it to stage 2, and then he'll still be on the lead lap, or at least one lap down. But I would stay out if I was still 43.
Looks like maybe he is not going to do that. Looks like he's going to be going down pit road along with him.
It's not too late, Paul.
Surprised pit lane's even open for him being a lap down. Usually it's closed for lap down cars.
Road courses, though, I don't think that it's that way.
Of course, whenever we get back, or whenever everybody's done with their stops, I think we're going to give a chance here to Abner Acosta. I think he's got an interesting story to tell about that huge comeback he had.
Huge is an understatement. So we see, most guys should be just taking fuel. Looks like some guys taking tires. Whoa, that's not the car that we expected to see come out.
Abner Acosta and Jose Acosta both taking damage off, it looks like here.
Yeah, Ryan Strunk totally getting a launch off of pit road. Pedro Enrique still down pit road. Not sure what's going on with the 114.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be following all the way back here. Definitely some extensive repairs, I do believe, for the 44, but not sure about the 114. Never did see him have any contact there.
I mean, he did something, because he was definitely down on pit road for quite a relationship.
Uh-oh. I do believe Pedro just had a blink. Well, let's go ahead and grab up Abner Acosta, see if we can't talk to him, Big Al. All righty, we got him here in the booth. Abner, sorry to catch you in mid-conversation there. We got you here in the booth. Fantastic performance there in stage 1. You had problems there on lap 2 in about the same place that your brother, Jose had. Walk us through what happened there that caused you to spin out like that and have to drive your way back up to second.
I don't know. It was just really loose on turning. So before the race, I was actually going to run the fixed setup just because I felt like it was good enough. And then last minute, I decided to just switch to another set. And I guess it's just a little looser than what I'm used to. And just turn 1 is kind of scary on it. Actually, all the turns are definitely a lot more looser than the fixed set. So just trying to get used to it now. Luckily, I only had like 45 seconds of damage, and I don't think it's anything too heavy, so I was able to get to the front.
Now, is that why you were spending time, that extra time on the pit road, trying to get some damage repaired?
Yeah, I just fixed it. It was 45 seconds.
All right. Well, definitely can't wait to see what you got in store for us. Looks like Pedro Enrique having a little bit of some technical difficulties here, so maybe a chance for you to get out there and win this race. I mean, looking at his pace, do you think you have something for that if you do have to race him head on?
I don't know. I'm curious to see after I got through the traffic and I got kind of like a hold set, but I don't know, man. I don't think I had anything for that, but I did wanted to see it, so I'm kind of bummed out that he got kicked out of it or lost connection, it looks like.
No, he just left.
Oh, did he? Well, yeah, kind of bummed out because I wanted to see the pace, but I don't know. That's pretty fast for open sets.
I think you got to set the pace now, Abner.
What was that?
I said I think you're going to have to set the pace now.
Oh, yeah. We'll see if we can get to the front here. It's kind of tricky with this track. Is really hard to pass, so just make sure I don't kill anybody and nobody kills me.
Yeah, that's about the name of the game here at the Charlotte Roval, man. Well, I know you guys are getting ready to get back racing. Who can we give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, shout out to my brother. I think he's fun too. Hopefully we can get to the front again. And Gabriel is also in there. Hopefully he can get to the front. And, Pandereta Racing Teams and you guys for broadcasting.
All right, thanks, Abner, and good luck with the rest of your race, man. Can't wait to see you. We'll probably get to talk to you later, I'm sure.
All right, thank you.
That was Abner Acosta. Right now, I do believe he is pretty far back here in the field. Has a lot of work to do. Of course, trying to get those repairs done. Unfortunate there for that 114.
Yeah, but you know what, though? Abner spun out, okay, on like lap 2 and drove all the way through the field and made it back up to P2. So I don't think he's going to have any problems at all. And I think it's just going to give him the time that he needs to let those tires kind of come into their own there so he won't get so squirrely coming around turn 1.
Yeah,
Ron
definitely.
Strunk, though. Oh, sorry about that. Ron Strunk, though, going to be getting his turn up at bat, I guess you would say, here for the first time tonight, as he is going to be leading us, Brian, as we get ready to go back green flag racing. So he's got to be pretty pumped up, right?
Oh, yeah, very much so. I mean, he's been up in the top 3 all race long, and wouldn't be I would definitely expect to see him in the top 3 later. I mean, this track seems like it's very much suiting him. You know, tire wear not that big of a factor. So I think he's definitely got a shot for a podium. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing it. I mean, definitely has shown a lot of pace here, but still wouldn't be surprised to see Abner come up here and have something to say about it.
Oh, Abner's definitely going to be up there. I mean, he's the only driver left in contention right now that has a sub 120 lap. Everybody else is 121 and higher. And remember, Pedro Enrique was down to 118.116. There's his fastest lap time. So Gary Adamson on the outside, going to be interesting to see how he actually handles the pressure being up front. We are going to be watching turn 1 intently, Brian, because that's where the majority of these guys are going to have their issues. And we're going to be seeing if the 42 of Jose Acosta can make it through this time unscathed.
And there it is, green flag back out in the air to 77 up through the gears as we still have some racing going on. Ooh, Frank Flores back in the back there. Just got incredibly loose on the start. Oh, and there goes the 45, Alexander.
There goes
I'm sorry,
Kenny
Gabriel
Powell.
Alejandro.
Yeah, the 45 spun. Kenny Powell got a little sideways and then recorrected. And
oh, the 11 locks up his tires here. It just seems like when you get those new tires or, you know, anything like that, when you're first getting up to pace, it's so easy to lock them up. So a lot of battling still going on here as guys are trying to, I'd say, get their tires up underneath them and get them warmed up a little bit.
yeah, more contact going on back there in the field. Look, right now, that's Frank Flores who's having problems back there, and these guys are trying to get around him. You're going to have Kendall LeBron, Abner Acosta, both stuck right there with Frank Flores. Oh, wait. Watch out for the 11 of Avery. He is down sideways. Looks like he was actually able to get that thing back under control. He is still out of control. Not sure what's going on with Avery, man, but once he kind of lost it, it's just like he was kind of still drunk a little bit.
Well, you know, you did see him, you know, in that same section earlier kind of clobber the wall a little bit. That could have had some effect on his handling.
Yeah, this second stage is nothing like the first stage, Brian. I mean, we have seen a lot of weirdness go on here, and now Ron Strunk is out to almost as commanding of a lead that Pedro had there during this same time last stage. So, but Jose Acosta, who was actually way in the back, has now got his legs underneath him, and he seems to be really solidly in second place.
And look at Gary Adamson right now. We were talking about him coming into this race, you know, about the playoffs, you know, him kind of being somewhat safe just considering those guys didn't make it here tonight. Well, he's up in third place right now. You know, great performance here from that 36. Loving every bit of this. Gary Adamson, I mean, what a stellar performance so far. Hopefully he could keep it up.
Yeah, absolutely. And the 45, though, of Gabriel Alejandro Cantu, he is definitely having a little bit of problems there because, you know, he did spin that car sideways. Now, didn't get a meatball ball flag, if you will, but he definitely does have some handling woes as he is taking the place of his teammate, Jose Acosta, now mopping up the back of the pack from stage 2.
There goes Abner Acosta, able to get right by Don Avery, taking over that 6th place position. Now going to be working on Kenny Powell, who sits in 5th.
Yeah, Abner's just got to relax, man. You know, he's already done this one time. You know, he can't keep doing it to himself. Hopefully this time he'll get through without having any damage, and he'll actually be able to come out of the pits in a better spot. But his brother is up there reeling in Ryan Strunk. So Strunk definitely now can see the 42 is definitely coming.
Yeah, he definitely is. I mean, looking at Jose Acosta's last lap, minute 20.968 versus, Ryan Strunk, minute 21.161. Not too different of a lap time, but still about 0.2, difference there that could add up for sure as we see them catching up. But Jose Acosta, I do believe, just lost some time through the last section. And we see Abner Acosta able to get clear of Kenny Powell. Now works his way up into fifth. Now going to try to chase down the 65 of Joey Preby.
Yeah, Joey Preby is definitely running pretty strong here this evening. Like I said, we hadn't seen him that often, but, he definitely seems to show he knows what he's doing when it comes to the road course. But you're not going to beat Abner, though. He's just, he knows the track. He feels it. And this guy usually runs fixed setups. Like you said, he changed his setup here to a non-fixed setup right before this race, and that is the reason why he's having handling woes. But I think just don't count him out, man. He's going to do what he needs to do to get back up front.
I think that's his main strength, though, that 44, is that, he's so used to running the fixed car to where, everybody has the same setup, and you really have to, drive the race car in a certain way to where you don't burn the equipment up. And I think that's what he's, allows him to do. He's able to take care of the car a whole lot better than other drivers.
Yeah, he's got vision.
You can't sleep on someone that knows how to take care of a race car. I mean, as we see big fighting going on, the 65 and the 44 duking it out. Joey Preby not going to let him go. We know Preby is not one that is very easy to pass.
Yeah, but he'll be okay because all Abner has to do is just stay patient and stay behind him. It's almost like a cheetah chasing a gazelle. You know what I mean? If he wants to eat, he will do what he needs to do to catch him.
Yeah, and also, almost like an intimidation factor, too. Oh, contact! 65 bumping into the, I'm sorry, the 44 bumping into the rear end of the 65. I think he's had enough. He's like, I'm here. A little bit of a shot to the rear to kind of jolt Joey awake here.
Yeah, but we know Preby. He hadn't been gone that long. So, Abner's going to have to do that to get around him. It's par for the course here.
It looks like he's going to be able to get it done. What a move there for Abner Acosta. Not a huge passing zone through there, but he made it work. Ryan Strunk right now out to over, I do believe, 2.5 seconds. Looking really good. If he could just stay consistent and make Abner work for it whenever he does get to him. Of course, Abner's just now up to fourth. He's still got two other drivers he's got to pass to get up here to the 77. So I think that Strunk is trying to stretch it out as much as he can here. He's like, I got to create a big gap between him. I'm sure he's definitely aware of Abner.
Yeah, a lot of drivers putting down the pace right now. Picking up the pace, I guess you'd say. You drop the mic, you pick up the pace, but that's what they're doing, and they're definitely starting to show their legs, Brian. A lot of drivers now down in the 120s, and that's exactly where they need to be. Look at Ryan Strunk. Got to be feeling pretty solid about his performance here. He was really kind of in there struggling there in the last stage, but at this stage, it's been all Ryan Strunk. It's been the Ryan Strunk show. With just 4 laps to go in this stage, well, 5 laps, so he'll be forward to line. He might just find himself the winner of stage 2. What do you think the odds are on that?
I think it's definitely odds are he's going to get it. I think he is. I definitely think that he's got the pace right now. This track is suiting him. And, his aggressive driving style, this seems like it's really working for him. But also something that's working for somebody else. Kendall LeBron turning some really good laps last couple. He just got by Kenny Powell, taking over that, I do believe, 6th place position. And Don Avery starting to catch up to Kenny Powell also.
Yep, and then just like that, Abner Acosta from P10 is now up to P3. Next driver that he will come in contact with will be none other than his big brother, Jose. Mom's got to be proud. Hey, Miss Acosta, if you're watching, big shout out to you from Big Al. Hope you're enjoying your sons out here putting on a stellar performance.
Still a lot of gap in between Abner and Jose, though. I do believe it's over 5 seconds here looking at it. It's actually 4.7 seconds.
It was a lot more than that not too long ago. Abner is on a roll, if you will. He's not, I guess sausage goes on a roll, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, he's quickly catching him, that's for sure.
No, that's right. He is. He's butter. He's butter, baby, and butter goes on a roll. So butter it up, Abner. The 45.
He looks like butter with that yellow car, huh?
Yeah, the 45 died down on pit road. Not sure what went on with that.
Probably, I see some heavy damage there on the right front.
He definitely has a meatball flag, so that means he would have taken the tow. There's that instant replay, folks.
Already had some damage on that race car, and then bam, smacks into the inside wall, the outside wall there, out of turn 1.
Yeah, he's going to be there for a while. The good news for him is, you know, in 3 laps, it'll be a stage break. So the stage caution here is going to be his biggest benefactor, because that's going to allow him to get a lot of that damage repaired.
Yeah, but of course it's going to be very difficult for him to get that lap back. Of course, he is now 1 lap down. We saw Paul Olsen not able to get a lap back, so I don't believe we'll see him able to get one either. But he's got to hope that other people have some bad problems in order to get him some positions.
Well, problems, we all got problems, man. It looks like Jose's going to have some problems as his brother is slowly caught up to him. Further back in the pack, there's even more problems, because Joey Preby is definitely back here, and he is battling, looks like Gary Adamson, and he's trying to get higher up into the top 5.
And also, you see Kendall LeBron right there on the back end of the 65 here. So a 3-car battle, I do believe, for the 4th, 5th, and 6th place position. As we're now 20 laps into this event, I believe 2 laps to go here shortly in the stage.
But these guys are racing for points, right?
I mean, they definitely are, but like I mentioned before a couple times tonight, you know, the guys that didn't show up tonight kind of take that really out of, they make it to where it's not really a question of who's going to make it anymore.
It'd be like that sometimes.
But one thing, they are fighting for points, though, Big Al, because you got to think. I mean, just like DeCiani said on Thursday, he said, you know, winning this race, winning these, you know, stages sets you up.
Sorry about that, bud. Looks like that the 36 of Gary Adamson he was all kinds of walking on high heels there going into that turn. Not only that, but, you know, he had the pressure because he had the 65 of Joey Preby right up behind him, and now Preby has a 28 of LeBron and be trying to get around him. As we're 1 lap to go in this thing, these guys are racing, and that's exactly what the people came to see.
100%. See Kendall LeBron looking like he's getting ready to maybe put a bumper to that 65. Oh, Kendall almost loses it. Some heads up driving there from the 28.
Yeah, Abner's actually rolling in. He's reeling in the 77 of Strunk with almost a second and a half faster per lap time. So the end of this stage isn't going to be able to come soon enough for Ryan Strunk, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, very, very quick laps there from Abner, and luckily, I think Ryan Strunk has, you know, a good gap, hopefully enough, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, we're closing in, and we know how long it takes for the top 10 to actually cross the start-finish line. I mean, that could be the difference maker there if those guys are still racing after that they cross the line.
So are their positions locked in once they cross the line, or are they still racing till the caution flag?
I think they're still racing. I'm pretty sure.
You know, well, I was wondering because, you know, that was something that was said there on Thursday night, and it kind of threw off my thought process, but I did not remember to engage it. But yeah, that's.
Well, I remember what they said. I mean, I know that, you know, I think it was Matt DeCiani and Derek Heitman were racing there, and they slowed down because they knew the caution was getting ready to come out. But I mean, I think that they still can race. I think that was just something that they were doing respectful for each other.
I don't understand that. You race until the flag comes out. I mean, just like football,
that's what I would think.
You play till the whistle blows.
Well, look at this. You can already see it. There's Ryan Strunk, and right behind him, not too far back, is Abner Acosta. So 7-7 to wait for his caution to come out. As they're on the oval portion here.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Abner will just let him keep it out of courtesy, but
Oh,
the 65's battling strong with Kendall LeBron as well. Sorry.
was there some contact there between those two?
No, they're just really going hard at it, trying to sort out this stage.
Looks like they're going to complete an extra lap here. So still no caution as of yet. The 77.
They were waiting on the 8 of Frank Flores, but the caution
there it
is
is.
out now.
And the 77 of Ryan Strunk able to hold off Abner Acosta to win stage 2. Going to be some much-needed points there for his playoff hopes. Of course, Abner Acosta finishing second. Jose Acosta in third. Fourth place, Joey Preby. Fifth place, Kendall LeVron. Sixth place, Kenny Powell. Seventh, Don Avery. Eighth, Gary Adamson. Ninth, Thomas O'Hara. 10th, Frank Flores. That's the top 10 points paying position. All those guys are on the lead lap, and there are only 10 on the lead lap. But we'll go ahead and take another brief step away. We'll be right back, and let's see if we can't dial up the 77 of Ryan Strunk.
Yeah, that's who I would like to talk to.
At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two, like how nice it is to switch and save on your auto policy. But it's even nicer knowing that if this happens, or this happens, or this, or even this, we've seen and covered it. So call 1-800-FARMERS to switch your auto policy, and you could save an average of $470. Get a quote today.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Woo! Papa John's just took their fresh, never frozen dough and hand stretched it into thin, oversized New York-style slices. I mean, look at that crust. That is the perfect crust thickness no matter how you eat it. So you can fold it or not. But I ain't gonna lie though, I fold it. Get a New York-style pizza from Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Pit stops have not taken place as of yet, but we will be joining the booth here in just a few moments with Ryan Strunk. Of course, we want to wait till they get their stops because we don't want to really impact that, of course. But, man, it has been a fantastic race so far, and I think it's only going to get, heat up from here. I mean, now, the pit strategy hasn't really been something that has needed to be talked about, but I think it's going to be really to the forefront now.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Brian. I mean, this race has actually been pretty exciting. A lot more so than even Thursdays. And Thursdays we'd had, a lot more contact. I don't know what it is about this race, but it's definitely kind of bringing us into it. So that's awesome. And you're right. This stage right here, it's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out, man. A lot of guys get a chance to make a lot of big decisions.
Yeah, for sure. I'm curious if anybody's going to be taking tires or anything like that. We'll have to wait and see. But you're right. I mean, there hasn't been a whole lot of contact. I mean, we've seen, one single car spins, but they haven't really lost their lap. Of course, Gabriel Alejandro Canto, really the only one that has had a meatball flag so far here this evening.
Yeah, he is the only recipient of a meatball flag.
So, definitely unfortunate for him. But, other than that, everybody doing well. I mean, by this point, I think on Thursday, we had a lot of guys that weren't even in the competition anymore.
Or not the conversation, at least, right?
Yeah, for sure. But everybody's still on the lead lap. I don't know how long that's going to last, though, because, we know that Abner and Ryan Strunk have been and really putting in some really good laps. Would not be surprised to see them put a lot of these guys a lap down, just considering this is going to be a long run. Big Al, we talked about it earlier. We'll talk about it again. 25 laps on the fuel window, and we determined on Thursday that was really pretty much what it was. I mean, 26 maybe?
Yeah, but we had guys that tried to run it a little bit longer than that. But, we had two different tire strategies. We saw guys that changed tires every stage. We saw guys that didn't. The guy that won was the guy that didn't. So now that these guys are down on pit road right now, we're going to be watching to see what the majority of the field is going to do. I mean, are you just taking gas? Because remember, field position here, track position, that's everything. That's what helped Ryan Strunk win stage 2. It's the fact that he started out in front because he just got gas and went.
Yeah, but this time, though, it's going to be a little bit different because Abner Acosta still had to drive through the field on that last stage, and now he's not going to have to, and it looks like he's even going to beat off Ryan Strunk here, who took tires there. But since the pit stops have been completed, let's go ahead and grab Mr. Strunk, Big Al. You want to talk to him?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Mr. Strunk, this is Big Al up in the booth. You got me?
What's up, Big Al?
Hey, man, been waiting on this moment to talk to you. Congratulations for your Stage 2 victory. That's definitely got to make you feel pretty good, especially here in the playoffs, man. But it was all based on pit strategy. Why don't you talk us through that?
Oh yeah, coming into pit, my crew chief made an awesome call. No tires on that, just because these things are so touchy with new tires until you get the heat built up in them.
Well, track position, has that been something that you think that was to your benefit? Because you led every lap in Stage 2. So my question is, asking you that directly, is because you're not in the lead now. So do you think track position is going to really play that big of a part into it?
Well, I mean, like our strategy is just come out here and get as many points as possible. Try to put a distance between that cut line, and with the third place in Stage 1 and that win in Stage 2, I really feel confident that we can just go out here and maybe ride, just get a good finish and move on to the next round, because these next tracks coming up, I really feel confident. We have a really fast Kathy Maloney at Guaranteed Rate Camaro.
Well, good deal. So obviously you got this track kind of under your wing here a little bit. Seems like you're navigating it with no problems at all. What do you anticipate your end state to be here tonight?
I'm hoping that we can just get out of here clean, but it's such a toss-up. It's so hard to pass here, and it's hard just to race the track, let alone race the guys on the track too. So we just got to keep our nose clean. Like I said, just ride maybe the first 5 to 7 laps, just let the heat build up, and then maybe we can get after him then.
Well, definitely looks like you know what you're doing with a P3 and a P1 here so far through the first 2 stages, man. Congratulations on that, and as we get ready to get into Stage 3, hopefully we'll see you on the podium on that. But before we let you go, man, who you giving a mini shout-out to?
Got to do you guys up in the booth. These broadcasts have been really on point, super enjoyable to watch, and got to thank Kathy Maloney at Guaranteed Rate for coming aboard this week. And McConey Setup Shop. They really been putting out some fire, so head over there, get yourself set up, and wind up in victory lane.
Roger that, sir. Thank you for your time, and good luck.
10-4, Big Al. Hopefully we're talking at the end of this.
Roger that.
Alrighty, that was Mr. Ryan Strunk. Definitely fantastic performance he's gotten so far here this evening. Pace car lights are out, and I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think it is Jose Acosta here that is leading the field to green. So definitely a great track position there for him. Of course, he's going to have to deal with his brother, and I don't know. I mean, we've already seen Abner pass the 42, so I don't think it's going to be too hard of a question to answer, but we've heard already from several drivers that it's hard to pass. So, I mean, that definitely could come into it. I mean, all it takes is one little errant bump and, you know, you're around, and, you know, could affect other drivers this race. I mean, we haven't seen a whole lot of contact tonight. You mentioned it earlier. I think that means we're kind of due, wouldn't you say?
Well, yeah, this is that third and final stage, though. I think drivers are going to be kind of going hard at it right there on that first lap or so, just trying to get the track position that they want. And then after that, you know, you're just going to try to settle into a rhythm, Brian, and then you and I will be watching to see how these pit strategies unfold.
Yeah, I think I might have been a little bit mistaken here. Abner Acosta, I do believe, does have the field in his control right now.
I'm showing Jose as the leader. Maybe Jose wanted to start up high and Abner let him.
Could be. I mean, that could be exactly what it is. Definitely, because you see the 42 is a little bit out in front of the 44, but usually, I mean, on these last few restarts and on Thursday, we saw that kind of guy on the inside there was the control car, but maybe not this time.
Yeah, that's the way it's set up in the ISCA. This must be an internal team decision. We don't have lane choice here, right?
I don't believe so.
No, we don't.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a little confusing, but, you know, look at Kenny Powell sitting up there in the top 5. Definitely going to be happy to be there. He talked about that he wanted to get a podium, a 5th place finish here. He thought he was confident that he thought he could get that. And I think he's feeling better, too, because he was sick on Thursday.
The numbers are off, Brian. That's the problem, because Powell should be shown in P3. There he is now. Okay. Now we're lined up right.
And there it is, green flag out in the air. Yeah, Abner was the control car there. As he does, I do believe, take the lead. But we see Jose up there on top trying to fight him off as he comes down in front of Kenny Powell.
That's been a sticky situation. I think that's the first time that we got through turn 1 clear here tonight. So that's great indications of the racing to come here. Kenny Powell definitely pushing the issue here as he is up into the top 3 there, running strong. You know, definitely pulling the stops out here, Brian, letting all the water out of the bathtub. Looks like the 28 of Kendall Ovando is going to find himself the recipient of the Spin Award.
You see also Thomas O'Hara was battling there with Gary Adamson. He was able to make that pass stick. He's now going to be up into the 6th place position.
Yeah, hopefully Kendall LeBron didn't have any damage on that.
Yeah, taking a look. I don't see a whole lot of damage on that race car, but this is not the time for stuff like that to happen. I mean, you could do that in stage 1. You could do that in stage 2 and still be able to get lined to back up with the field, but no caution's going to come out and save you now, Big Al. So that might be his race, you know, wrapped up here. I mean, it's going to be very difficult for him to be able to find himself back up into position.
Yeah, it is going to do that, Brian, because there's nothing that's going to slow these cars down except for when they do all take their individual stops on pit road. The 44 of Abner Acosta, though, wasted no time asserting his dominance on this field here. Kenny Powell, though, tucked in definitely snug as a bug there in P3 behind the other Acosta, the Jose car.
I mean, look at that. The 24, I mean, looking really, really good right now. He is showing pace that I don't think we've seen from him thus far.
Well, he even called it, though. Kenny even said that he anticipated himself to be at least in the top 5. So as long as he can keep pace with Jose, smoking the tires.
Smoke, yeah. I'm not sure if that came from the 42 or the 24, Big Al.
That was from the 24, but so as long as he can maintain that, man, he'll be okay. He can't get caught up in his own head. He's got to run the race.
You got to race the racetrack, hit your marks. That's for sure. I mean, the road courses, you know, you hear that a lot, hit your marks, but road courses it means even more.
That's a lot. 16 turns to hit your marks, 16 times, as opposed to the 4, right?
Yeah, 100%. As we see the 77, Ryan Strunk, who we just spoke with, he's now up in the top 5, but he's being pursued by Thomas O'Hara, but he is also doing some pursuing himself, trying to catch up there to Don Avery. But look at Abner Acosta's last lap. He actually bested I do believe Pedro Enrique's best lap.
Yes, he sure did. It's a sub 118 lap, dude.
Oh, problems. Abner Acosta around. After he turned that lap, he spun it out. Let's take a quick replay on that.
Yeah, that's...
See, he did that, you know, sub 18-second lap, and then all of a sudden lost it right here. Right there. Smacked that bumper onto the back there, and he's going to lose the lead and possibly the chance to win this race. Oh, and then after the fact, I do believe some more contact.
He'll be all right. That contact was on the right rear, so that hopefully won't affect his drivability. Now, he did fall all the way back to 9th place, but, you know, he's been back there before. He's just got to get short memory, got to get back in the car, get back on the groove there and start trying to make up that time.
But you know what this means, though, Big Al? Kenny Powell is our new leader.
Yeah, congratulations, Kenny Powell, for taking the lead as the other Acosta has slipped all the way back to 6th place.
Yeah, I mean, Jose also, you know, kind of got slowed up by Abner and lost even more positions than he did.
Yeah, so Powell just has to run his race, and that's what I just said, a few seconds ago. But he has just got to be looking out front instead of looking in that rearview mirror and looking at that relative. Because if he can just concentrate on his own race, hit his marks. I mean, we've seen what has happened when cars took the lead of this thing, man. It's really hard to actually catch up to him. But Ron Strunk and Don Avery now completing the top three. So this race is just going to show a lot of people, man, a lot of promise. And they're going to be bringing up points here in the playoffs. It's just going to shake that whole thing up like a freaking Coke with some Pop-Tarts. What do you put in there?
Pop-Tarts. We can tell Pop Rocks. Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, there you go.
You can put some Pop-Tarts in the soda. I don't think that's going to make it fizzle.
That's like cereal for people like
Rice
me.
Krispies.
Yeah, Pop-Tarts with Coke in them instead of milk. It's what's for breakfast.
Yeah, diabetes is what's for breakfast.
Hey, I got the diabetes.
That's definitely not a laughing matter for sure. But the 77, Ryan Strunk, right there on the rear end of 11. This is the battle for second place. Thomas O'Hara also higher than he's ever been all night long, sitting in that fourth place position, has a podium definitely in mind. I think he's got it. I mean, looking at his speed right now, Thomas O'Hara running some very respectable laps. I mean, some of the fastest laps on the track, a minute 20.532. I mean, that's faster than I do believe the majority of the drivers out there.
Lots of racing left to go, Brian.
Oh, wow.
And the big thing is going to be is how these guys all shake it out in the pits.
Making sure you all right, Big Al? Just heard a loud noise from your end.
You didn't hear anything from my end.
I guess I'm losing my mind because it sounded like a gust of wind.
Oh, sorry about that.
A big battling still taking place here. As Kenny Powell, though, driving away. 1.7 seconds is his lead. He's got to be loving it right now. And he's setting some of his fastest laps of the race. He did set his fastest lap of the race last time by, minute 20.379.
And we are just halfway through this thing, have 27 laps to go, which means we're going to be about 5 laps till we hit that pit window. Now, it's going to be interesting to see if some of these guys are going to come in early on the window, Brian, or if they're going to hold off late and come in.
I don't know. We saw both strategies really play out on Thursday.
100%. Absolutely. Yes, we did.
See Kendall LeVron able to make his way around. Gary Adamson's going to take over that 8th place position. Remember, Kendall had the spin there on the first lap, and he has recovered well, still in the top 10 here.
Another driver that's doing just what he needs to do to make it into the playoffs, that's going to be the 8 of Frank Flores. So I want to go ahead and give a shout out to him, as he is definitely looking to solidify his playoff chances here tonight, right?
Yeah, he definitely is. I mean, looking to make it to the next round, but I mean the next round is small potatoes in a lot of ways too. I mean, if you're already kind of guaranteed it to the next round, you need to be focused on getting as many points as you can, especially stage points and playoff points. Getting these top 10s is really going to be important to kind of pad your points there for when we have another cutoff race.
Yeah, it's all about those points. And that's exactly what Kenny Powell is focused on. He is focused on trying to gain as many points as he can here tonight. And a victory will do just that, man. That's gonna close that gap for him to those guys that are ahead of him, because that's what he needs.
Yeah, and also, really helps him out too that Chris Severa is not here this evening. He's actually, I do believe, going to be attending the actual Roval race here on Sunday. So, had to travel and get, all that kind of worked out and stuff like that. So, good for Kenny Powell, because he's going to be able to get some points maybe to get a little bit closer to Chris Severa.
Yeah, absolutely. And, there's teamship in the playoffs, but there really isn't. If you understand what I'm saying, man. The 28 of Kendall LeVron, though, down on pit road, not sure what that's about.
Yeah, I just noticed that. Kind of need to go back and see what happened here with the 28.
Yeah, he does have the meatball flag as well, and he is disconnected.
Kind of watching the replay here to see exactly what happened with this 28. Oh, smacks the outside wall there. Yeah, I think he broke a toe with that contact.
Yeah, I think he broke more than a toe. He broke a foot. That was very hard contact right there.
Yeah, I hate to see that. Has been having a pretty good day so far, and now going to be outside of the race car. That's going to be good news for Paul Olson, though. I mean, he's been sticking with it. Hasn't been running, the fastest laps or anything, but he's still out there and still driving and going to get that position. So, that's going to put him up in the top 10.
You gotta love that. A top 10's a top 10. I don't care how you count it out. Points are points, baby. As Abner goes by, young older brother Jose. Abner back up now in the 5th place as he is back on his journey to the front.
It's going to be a difficult road for him, though. He's got 10 seconds he's got to make up right now. I mean, that is a long way to go. I mean, I know he's fast, but it's going to be difficult for him to do that.
Oh, he'll be fine. You a little faith, man. Come on.
So you think he's going to get all the way up there to Kenny Powell?
Absolutely, I do. I mean, we got 24 laps to go.
That's true. You're right. Taking a look here through Abner Acosta's kind of onboard here. We got some nice little things here to help see, what kind of speed he's holding through these corners. See, he is now 8 laps in his stint. Just shows you how much focus you have to have driving around this place. I mean, and the throttle control and just knowing exactly what to do. I mean, it's one thing to be able to turn a fast lap and figure out how to be fast around this place, but we got to do it every single lap for 55 laps. That is hard. Looks like the track has cooled off a little bit out here, Big Al. Also, we see 93 degrees on the actual track itself.
Yeah, it is definitely starting to cool off, man. These guys totally got a little bit of a different handling track than the guys did on Thursday night. But, man, so the 77 of Strunk slowly closing that gap to the 24 Powell. Not sure what's going on with that. Powell probably kind of maybe put himself in a situation there that he might have maybe burned his equipment up a little bit, as Strunk was a full second faster than him on that last lap.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, we saw Powell had almost 3 seconds of a gap, and unfortunately that has just started dwindling away here. So 77 has caught up here to the 24. I expect some heavy battling here. I love that, though, that when we talked to Strunk in his interview, he said, I'm not really out to win this race. I'm just in it, I want to bring it home, and get a good, respectable finish and bring some points home going into the next, round of the playoffs. But this is looking like it could even end up with him getting the win here.
Yeah, Abner now just made it by the 117 of Thomas O'Hara. He is back up to P4 right now, continuing his quest to get back up to the place where he was at. And just like we talked about, that one turn, that same turn, that's the one turn that jacked him up. So now he is going to be cognizant of that turn here for the rest of it, as he is slowly reeling in the 11 of Don Avery. Avery in P3, you remember he was the stage 2 a winner, as well as the finish in P3 there in stage 1. So he can't feel too comfortable having Abner reel him in that quick as well.
Yeah, definitely got to be a little bit worried for sure. But I bet the person that's worried the most has got to be Kenny Powell. As we're getting closer and closer to that fuel window opening up, I wouldn't be surprised to see Powell, dive down as soon as it opens, just considering he seems like he may be a little bit struggling here. Maybe we need to make an adjustment to that race car.
Yeah, and he has got the 77 of Ryan Strunk all over him, who has the 11 of Don Avery all over him, who has the 44 of Abner all over him. So what were you saying about Abner not being able to catch Powell?
I mean, sometimes I'm wrong. Oh, Powell!
Oh, Powell
Knocks it up.
blows the chicane. Wow, that's going to cause him to slow down tremendously, Brian. And is the pit window open? Pit window's open. So if I was him, I'd slow down and get ready to start pitting. And that's exactly what he's going to do.
Yeah, I think he has figured it out. I think he's like, you know what? I'm not going to chance this anymore. I'm going to get down pit road. A lot of pressure on me right now.
Now, still with 22 laps to go in this thing, that's still a considerably long run, but he'll get the gas that he needs. He'll be able to get out there and shake it off. That's the key, because you got to slow down anyway. Do that on pit road. He'll be able to get back out there, and he should be able to still be in contention as the Abner now comes up onto the 77 of Strunk. Now, that's amazing that Abner Acosta actually has spun himself out twice so far tonight, and yet he is still in P2 battling strongly for the lead, but the pit window's open, so now we're going to be wondering when these guys are going to be trying to come down there and talk to the pit crew.
Yeah, it's just crazy to think that Abner, fell all the way back to 10th again, and had to fight all the way back up once again. It's just crazy that he's able to do it time and time again here. On
a track that's hard to pass.
Yeah, I mean, it blows my mind, the performance we're seeing here from Abner Acosta. I mean, and not to even mention that out of the last 3 races, he's won 2 of them. Could he make it, out of the last 4, he's won 3. I mean, it looks like he could.
Yeah, I mean, you can't count him out. He still has to, get over his own individual little problems that he's having, because that's what's keeping him from being a lot further along in the lead here than he is. He should not be battling for the lead. He should be in the lead out to a demanding lead. So he's just got to get those demons under control, and then maybe we'll see if we can crown him.
Well, I think he's just trying to keep it interesting for us up here in the booth. I'm telling you, he's definitely been keeping us all kind of entertained, watching him go back and forth through this field.
And now he is back in the lead again, just passing the 77 of Ryan Strunk. Don Avery laying back and wait, but the 77 not letting it go just yet as he does the crossover move on the road track there. He's going to come back around the outside, or the inside, rather, of Abner Acosta.
Yeah, what a great move there for the 77, not giving him that position. He is still going to be under contention here as we see the 44 and the 77 battling it out in the chicanes.
It's going to be about who gets the drive off out of the corner.
I do believe the 77 going to give it up here in the oval portion. Actually, the 770 decided he's going to go down pit road. Good call, I think, for this 77 team.
Yeah, green flag pit stop's totally under the way now, Brian. We are 20 laps to go in this thing, so now we'll start seeing cars coming in. The key is going to be, can they get in, get down the pit road speed, get stopped, get fuel, get back going without incurring a penalty. That's going to be the key here, as if these guys are going to be competitive, because the race is going to be won by how fast and efficient these guys pit.
Very much so. Still, though, Abner Acosta out in front right now, trying to, we're waiting on him to see when he goes down pit road, waiting on about everybody here. Man, wonder what the picture would look like if Pedro Enrique was out here, though. I hate that, whatever happened there. I think it would have been a crazy battle between Abner and him, because, I mean, they showed very, very, very similar pace.
Yeah, but when you start talking about the coulda, shouldas, I'm just glad that my aunt is my aunt instead of my uncle. You know what I mean?
I guess. I don't really know what. I mean, I get what you're saying. Thinking about what could have been 100%, but I don't understand the metaphor.
Well, I mean, the metaphor is, and we talk about this all the time, man, you can come out here and you can run fast for a stage, You run fast for 2 stages, but we're interested in the guy that's going to come out here, is going to start the race, going to run clean, be impartial and very a good racer. You know, have a good racecraft and can actually be competitive and consistent to the end of this thing, because that's what we're looking for, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely what we're looking for. I mean, we have some battling going on right now. The 117, Thomas O'Hara having to hold off Jose Acosta here. You see the 65 of Joey Priebe. He's been having a quiet race so far. And, you know, definitely doing a fantastic job in that 65.
Paul Olsen down on pit road, but that is not due to a meatball flag. Don't know quite what's going on with him.
Could just be his regularly scheduled pit stop there. I mean, of course, he has to take some fuel also.
Well, he's camping. He's having a full course meal right there. That ain't no McDonald's stop. That's one of them Outback Longhorn stops.
that's not no 15-minute dinner. That's a hour sitting there and drinking wine kind of dinner.
Yeah, that's the Texas de Brazil stop right there. But Abner, man, he's running this thing. His last lap was a 1:18.868. Still nowhere near as fast as Brian, but I mean, I think he's trying to show everybody that he is not just going to be the recipient of the most cars passed award, but he's going to be the last car lapped award.
Yeah, even starting to catch up there to Frank Flores. Could even put him a lap down by the end of this thing here. I mean, I think that the reason he's not turning those laps he was earlier, even though he is turning some very, very fast laps, you know, I think he was pushing a little too hard, wanting to see how fast he could go, and, you know, kind of came at his detriment.
Yeah, but those tires are good right now. So he's got them singing, and he's doing exactly everything that he used to do. Just wondering when he is going to bring it on down here to pit. But if he can be smooth, because smooth is fast.
That it is. Now we're 16 laps into this run, and I do believe we've had a handful of guys go down pit road. Abner Acosta, of course, has not pitted yet. Don Avery also hasn't. Thomas O'Hara hasn't. Jose Acosta, Joey Priebe, Gary Adamson. But still, the battle is on right now as we watch Jose Acosta.
Ooh! Jose slipped right on the inside of the 117 of Thomas O'Hara. He is also going to lose that spot to the 65 of Joey Priebe as well. And I was just getting ready to say, man, Jose showed tremendous pace here at the start of this thing. And then he kind of dropped way back there to 5th or 6th place when Abner actually passed him during this stage. But now, look at him, man. He's all the way back up in 3rd place. So that's going to be good. Got a little bit of damage there on the front of that 42 Chevrolet John Deere, but, you know, nothing runs like a Deere. Nothing.
Yeah, he does. I mean, you can see the impact there that he sustained on that front end, and you'd expect that would definitely cause him to have some problems, but it looks like he's definitely right there, top 5 car easily as he tries to catch up here to Don Avery now, as we soon to have 15 laps remaining.
And Avery's been at Achilles Hill. He has not actually been able to. This is about the point where Jose kind of starts to fall apart on us a little bit. So I'm hoping that he can get those nerves under control, do what he's got to do, get down pit road, have a solid stop. You know, don't get penalized, get his service, get his fuel, get back out there, and put that car on the podium. The 117 of Thomas O'Hara now down on pit road.
It looks like O'Hara probably just going to take fuel only here. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, there he goes. As man, Joey Priebe doing a great job. I mean, he's right there with Jose. So if Jose slips up at all, I think Priebe could be right there in the podium kind of position right now. Of course, we've had some guys that went down pit road that were up on the podium. So we'll have to see how that all shakes out. Still kind of in, question here.
Well, it's soon to be in answer.
You see Kenny Powell, he's out in front of, I do believe, Thomas O'Hara.
You know, Powell did have a strong shot, man. He was out in the lead here for at least 3 or 4 laps, showing good pace, but it just wasn't quite meant to be. Now he finds himself all the way back down in 7th place, but he's still yet to stop, like you were saying. So I think the pit stop.
Powell has actually had a pit stop. Remember, he pitted once he got past for the lead.
Yes, that's why I'm glad you're here tonight. The last assistant I had, man, he was horrible.
Well, I can't wait. I know. Hopefully, Kenny doesn't get mad with me, but I can't wait for a new project that we got kind of going on too. I figure we get, at some point we're gonna be announcing something, and can't wait for that, Big Al. Me and you always have great chemistry together.
Oh, it's going to be big. This was going to be huge, and it's going to take us to, I think, the next level. Even greater than what we're doing here. So, we definitely got a fan base, or at least I do. So maybe if you could get your 2 fans to come over and join my hundreds of fans.
My 2 fans, huh? I don't think I have any fans, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah, you do, man.
The fan club hasn't reached out to me yet, so I don't know where they're at.
Sometimes you got to be the president of your own fan club. But yeah, Abner Acosta definitely doing everything that he needs to do right now.
I think the one to really watch right now, who has already had his pit stop, Ryan Strunk. We saw he, of course, lost the lead to Abner there. Went down pit road, got it done. He's now in front of Kenny Powell. I think when it all shakes out, this guy's going to be up in the top 3. Just shocked at how long these guys are going, though. I mean, we're verging on, I believe, 12 laps to go here. I mean, these guys are staying out a lot longer than I kind of suspected. But we saw guys do this on Thursday.
We saw guys stay out all the way to under 10 laps to go on Thursday. So, it's just a matter of wanting to stay in the groove, man, and not get out of that. Because coming down on pit road, I mean, it kills your momentum.
Yeah, I guess it could kind of throw off your rhythm, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Joey Preby is slowly trying to roll up and stay with Jose Acosta.
Yeah, I think he's been doing more than staying with him. I think he's been really putting pressure on that 42. And, what a comeback here for the 65. We've seen him before, hasn't had the best performances, but, man, this is definitely I think a breakout moment for this team.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited about the way the order is kind of playing out here tonight, man. No matter what, I think we're going to have some guys in the top 3 here that we usually don't have. So just interested to see how this thing's going to play out here as we are just now coming up on, it'll be 11 laps to go at the line. And that's about the length of, that is the length of the stages, so.
Got a nice cockpit camera here from Joey Preby. Of course, it says 26. I do believe in the iRacing service he actually is the 26, but on his car it's the 65, and it's always been the 65 for me whenever I've talked about him, so that's kind of what we've been going with all night. But kind of see through his cockpit camera here as he tries to, get up there to Jose. But, I mean, Jose's doing a great job on the exits of these corners, and I think that's what his strength is.
Man, I'd never realized how good of a road course driver Jose is. Jose's actually, he's a pretty good driver. We're pretty hard on him. I know I am. Big Al's always been hard on Jose, but yeah, man, Jose's showing great consistency and tremendous pace here this season. As the Ada Frank Flores finds himself down on pit road. Looks like it's going to be a fuel-only stop for that 8 car. Here comes that 65, also known as the 26 of Joey Preby. He's down on pit road. 36 of Gary Adamson also going to be coming down.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of guys are heading down now. I would not be surprised to see everybody else kind of follow. As, I mean, they're reaching the end of their fuel window here. I mean, or the fuel run. So Abner, they're going to be forced to go down sooner rather than later. But like you said, I don't think they want to interrupt their rhythm here. But I mean, eventually they're going to have to.
I think Abner's probably going to come down either this lap or the next. He won't go below 10 to go here. He's already knows he can't make it. So he's not going to. There he is. He's down. Nope, he's not going to stop yet. But he's got a comfortable lead here. So we'll be watching him and watching the rest of the field as we're 10 to go now effectively. So
yeah. Jose Acosta has been really chasing down Don Avery. I mean, we thought Joey Preview was going to be able to really put a fight on that 42. Doesn't seem like that's the case, though. It looks like Jose able to move on and kind of, move on to higher, things here as he tries to get up here to this 11. But what a great performance from Don Avery. I mean, he's had, I'd say, a pretty quiet day. We've seen him kind of hit the wall a little bit earlier, but didn't seem like it did significant damage to that race car. But he definitely has been putting on a great show for us.
Yeah, Avery does everything that he needs to do. Hi, Sherry. Want to give a shout out to Sherry as well. Man, we're just chalking up the fan club here, Brian.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, Don Avery does tremendous performer every night, week in, week out. We see this guy out here doing what he's got to do. I hope he can just kind of keep it together. He still has to stop, I do believe. And then hopefully he can keep it together and actually end this thing with a podium run.
Yeah, it's going to be a difficult thing to say, to do, though, just considering Abner Acosta right now with almost 24 seconds of a lead. I mean, and all the guys that have already pitted, I don't know. I mean, has Don Avery lost time? I mean, looking at his last lap, I mean, not a bad lap, a minute 20.790. So I think he might have a podium in this pocket. Imagine how... oh, there he goes. He misses the chicane. Oh, no. He's probably going to get a slow down for that.
Yeah, definitely going to have to slow down and then also have to defend because, you have a period of time to actually get that slow down. You got Jose right behind you. You don't want to affect him.
Yeah, but I bet these guys, are feeling the mental exhaustion, though, just from having to be focused for 100% of the time. I mean, we talked about caution is not really coming out to save you. I mean, not just even track position if you make a mistake, but also, when it comes to your mental, I'd say, stamina. I mean, you kind of get drained away by when you're at this point in the race. I mean, 47 laps in.
What's wrong, man? You okay? You need to talk?
No, I'm just saying these guys are definitely having to.
The 44, the leader is on pit road. Sorry, I just wanted to tell you the leader's on pit road.
Yeah, Abner Acosta finds himself on pit road here with, I do believe, going to be 7 laps to go. We'll see what this stop looks like for him. How much time does he lose?
The 42, his brother, comes down pit road as well.
Now, the question is, where's Ryan Strunk going to be here? Because he pitted before these guys a while ago.
Now, Don Avery still has the pit, so Abner actually got out well in front of the 77 of Ryan Strunk. Jose is going to be battling right now to see if he can make it out in front of Ryan Strunk, which he will not. So Jose will have to battle back for position. Abner just has to catch the 11, who still has to pit. So,
yeah, I do believe it looks like Abner was able to make a pit stop without even losing a position. Great job.
Well, he did. He did lose one, but like you said, though, we're still waiting on Avery to pit.
That's right. But as we close in on the later parts of this race, still up in the air. Haven't seen it kind of settle out here on where everybody's going to be finishing. Not a lot of close racing on hand right now. As Don Avery, I do believe, now going down.
Yeah, I think Avery, really at this point, you got to come. Once you're within 10 laps to go, you got to get back out there. You got to get in the rhythm. Got to get that car rolling again in battle. That's what you need to do. So Abner back in the lead. Still got a considerable lead over P2, which is going to be Don Avery. No, actually, Ryan Strunk in the 77. Sorry.
Yeah, we see Ryan Strunk actually coming across the start-finish line right now.
But Avery's actually going to make it out back in front of Strunk. So
yeah,
way to
not
go,
by
Don
much,
Avery.
but yeah.
Solid stop for Don Avery. I mean, that's what you got to do.
Second place here.
Yeah, that's what you got to do right there. So that, I mean, that's going to shake it up now. That's going to put Avery and Strunk right there in second and third. So Jose's going to have to really boogity if he wants to get on the podium, man, because they're not giving these slots away right here, right now. And he's going to have the 24 Powell, who is also going to be kind of reeling him in as well. But hopefully Powell has a little bit left. Hopefully he can maintain his pace and the speed. But man, I think we're going to have ourselves a nice little, nice little chicken plate here for the second and third place positions.
Definitely been a solid race so far. Abner Acosta over 30 seconds on second place. So even with that issue that he had, still able to fight his way back up to the lead and have this, big of a gap. I mean, just shocking to see, him have that much speed on these guys, that he was able to accomplish that. I mean, look, definitely like Abner has been just showing up. Really, he really has just been showing up. I'd love to see him in that Thursday series to see how he'd stack up. I think he'd give those guys a run for their money.
Well, I think you should recruit him.
Well, Abner, if you're listening.
Well, we'll get a chance to talk to him at the end of this thing. At least you will. I don't get to talk to winners, but. Yeah, but I definitely agree, man. He's got, the guy's racecraft is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, we've seen that. I mean, he demonstrates it. He's only been, this is his, I believe, fourth race here. And like you said, 2 of those have resulted in victories.
Yeah, and it's looking like he's going to get a third here, as long as he doesn't make a mistake. I mean, we've seen it before on these road courses. You make a mistake, you could lose a lot of time, depending on the severity of that mistake, whether you hit the wall or if you just spin out. I think he's got enough of a gap that he could do that and be still safely in the lead. But if he hits the wall and breaks a toe link, that'll change everything.
Yeah, you don't want to break your stuff. Man, this has just been a really good race, though. Thank everybody for hanging out with us here on this Saturday night. I know you guys got choices of what you could be doing, but the fact that you're hanging out with Big Al and Brian, man, that just makes me all warm inside. And the ISCA, just got to give a big shout out to those guys, man, for giving us something to do here, giving us something to talk about. Otherwise, I could imagine that you and I would be in our independent circles, like boring everybody to death.
5 laps to go, though, here. Verging on 4 laps to go as Abner Acosta goes through the chicanes. At this point, when you're all by yourself on the racetrack, I mean, we talk about that at Talladega and other tracks. I mean, I think it still means something here, too. If you don't have anybody around you, it's harder to keep that focus in. And so Abner, this is the time where he could still make a mistake. We'll have to wait and see, make sure that he hits his marks here. I'm sure the crew is all in his ear saying, hey, man, just trying to keep him focused.
I mean, really, if he were to make a mistake, I mean, he would. Look, this reminds me when I was running high school track, right? I was so slow that I was running the 330-meter hurdles, intermediate hurdles. Well, the leader got taken out on the 3rd hurdle. And, by the time I made it to him, they already had him on the stretcher and put him in the dang rescue squad. So, that's kind of how it goes, right?
Yeah, that's right. I'm telling you, the 77 just hit his fastest lap of the race, the lap before this one.
Yeah, Strunk is going to be trying to reel in Avery, man. That's where he's going to be trying to battle. And they got to have Frank Flores in between them. And that's definitely going to be his target. He's got to try to – and Flores is going to yield and let that position go because he's not in that battle.
Yeah, good on Flores to get out of the way there for sure, as these guys are still in the thick of things. Positions are not guaranteed here. But I think that the 8 still slowed him down a little bit more than he probably wanted him to. I think that's probably going to be impacting his lap time here. That could be enough. I mean, just that little, like, you miss a 10th on a lap. I mean, that could be enough to not give you an opportunity to even try to battle there for that second position.
Well, yeah, if you don't carry the speed that you need into the corners and the turns, it's hard because the car is not stacking up the way that it needs to. I think, that's a big thing. If someone gets you out of that race rhythm, it does take you a while to get going because you have to carry such tremendous pace in order
and Frank Flores didn't do anything wrong there. He tried to get out of the way best he could, but it just depends on when you catch someone.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what I wasn't saying anything negative on Flores. I'm just saying you got to get these cars. They got to go a certain speed in order to bank them and to get the springs to stack up the right way. Does that make sense?
No, I mean, yeah, it just really depends on when you catch the guy. If it's on the entry to a corner.
Jose hit the wall twice.
Unfortunate there in the oval portion. He had just gotten I do believe, the 8 of Frank Flores. As we now have 2 laps remaining. Well, it looks like Jose definitely going to be trying to limp it home. Doesn't look like the damage is too severe.
Yeah, but so much of him actually bringing it home on the podium.
Well, the battle is on for that second place position. Ryan Strunk has caught Don Avery.
Jose might make it on the podium because these two are going to have to sort this out, and they're going to have just 2 laps to do it, Brian.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, still a whole lot of action left for us in these just 2 laps. I'm wondering, can Ryan get up there and actually do battle with this 11? How would that battle look?
I think this is the battle to talk to Big Al.
It really is. Here we go to 77, still closing in. Looks like no lap traffic really going to be able to spoil this battle here.
Yeah, Don Avery doing exactly what he needs to do. Just keep hitting those marks, man. Your apexes, you got to make sure that you're on them.
This, I do believe, is the closest battle on the racetrack.
But it's still been a pretty fun race here tonight.
Looks like the white flag is out for Abner Acosta here. So Ryan Strunk, I do believe, is running out of time. Abner Acosta coming through these corners for the final time here. He has enough of a gap, but he could just wave to the fans. Over 30 seconds is his gap. As he comes on to the oval portion here. All the fans cheering Abner. Gonna come through these chicanes here for the final time. And the 77, I do believe, has resigned himself to not be able to pass that 11. Still about 5 car lengths in between these 2 drivers. And here we go, Abner Acosta coming through the final chicane. He is going to win the Papa John's 125 in the Saturday Super Cup Series here. Definitely a magnificent performance from him. Saw him go from 10th all the way back up to lead multiple times tonight. Don Avery, of course, going to finish in 2nd place with Ryan Strunk in 3rd. Jose Acosta in 4th place. Kenny Powell in 5th. So he did get that top 5 he was talking about. 6th place, Thomas O'Hara. 7th place, Joey Preby. 8th place, Gary Adamson. 9th place, Frank Flores. And 10th, Paul Olson. Great job for Paul Olson to get that top 10.
Yeah, and 3 drivers did not finish. That's going to be the 28 of Kendall LeBron in 11th. Gabriel Alejandro Cantu in 12th. And Pedro Enrique in 13th. Man, what a race here for this evening. A lot of drivers still out there trying to finish this thing up. We got the 117 Thomas O'Hara waiting on him to come across the line, as well as the 65 of Joey Preby. I'm showing them 26 everywhere except for on the car. Gary Adamson is going to be coming across the line.
Yep, coming across the line, I do believe, right now. And I'm pretty sure that everybody, I think everybody in this race tonight made it through the to the next round of the playoffs. Of course, we heard Chris Johnson, and of course, Josh Schaffner not able to make it here. Hopefully everything is well with them. I know that Josh Schaffner dealing with a injury, so definitely, hopefully he gets better quickly. But with that, the conclusion of the race, let's go ahead and take a quick step away. We'll talk to our top three in just a moment.
At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two, like how nice it is to switch and save on your auto policy. But it's even nicer knowing that if this happens, or this happens, or this, or even this, we've seen and covered it. So call 1-800-FARMERS to switch your auto policy, and you could save an average of $470. Get a quote today.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Woo! Papa John's just took their fresh, never frozen dough and hand stretched it into thin, oversized New York-style slices. I mean, look at that crust! That is the perfect crust thickness no matter how you eat it. So you can fold it or not. But I ain't gonna lie though, I fold it. Get a New York-style pizza from Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. I do believe we're waiting on our third place finisher to join us. I think, Big Al, can you pull him down here right quick? All right, we got him. Sorry about that. Ryan Strunk, we got our third place finisher in here, stage 2 winner. Great job to you, man. I mean, you even look like you might have had the speed to get the thing done and actually win this race. I mean, you said you just wanted to finish, but it looks like you did better than that and even got you a podium. How you feeling?
Oh yeah, feeling great. You never can count your ducks here at the Roval. It's just too much of a wild card, and I am not a road course racer, so this is an extremely pleasant surprise. I'll say that one.
Wow, it definitely seemed like it was a very pleasant surprise. I mean, indeed, you say you're not a road course racer. You could have fooled us, that's for sure. As you were turning some really good laps, and you were catching Don Avery quite a bit there, too.
Oh, yeah, it's always super fun when it comes down to me and Don. I've raced with him for so long, and he's just a real clean racer. Too bad I couldn't get to him, but, man, it was fun out there, man, I tell you.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like it for sure. And what do you think you would have needed to catch up there to Don?
Oh, just to probably hit my marks a little bit better. I saw him in front of me, and it's just like the dog with that bone, just pushing it just a little too hard,
Yeah, definitely can understand that for sure. You started 4th, finished 3rd. I mean, definitely going to help you out going into the next round. I think you definitely brought some points home that's going to pad that out a little bit. How does that feel? I mean, going to the next round, I know we have Vegas coming up. I'll ask you about that in just a moment. But how does that feel that, you made it to this next round?
Yeah, that's like our year has just been nothing but just grinding. I mean, like we've had a couple of small chances to win here and there, but like we're just a smaller team compared to these other guys. We only have 1, 2 development drivers, and like it's just huge to be able to come out here and compete with these guys and move on to this next round. We've been just discussing what we've been trying to do this past week. Like, should we try to race? Should we try to get points? And I was just trying to get points out there. It just turned out that we had speed, and I have no clue how that happens.
I mean, you definitely was turning some of the fastest laps on the racetrack. I mean, your fastest lap was a minute 20.186. So, definitely we're showing some significant speed. You guys hit it right on the money. How do you feel about Las Vegas, coming up next week? I mean, do you feel pretty good about that?
All those mile-and-a-half D ovals, I feel really good with. Homestead, I'm excited to go there. Should be a really fun end of the year. Can't wait to see what the end has in store. And got to thank Kenny Powell for letting me in this league and putting this league on. This has been fun this year. Let's try to end it out on a good note.
Yeah, definitely. Let's try to do that for sure, man. Well, great job to you. You kind of already shouted out Kenny Powell. Anybody else we could shout out for you?
Oh, definitely you guys up in the booth. I can't wait to see this broadcast. Kathy Maloney at Guaranteed Rate, Grindstone Stump Grinding, down in Georgia, Manifesto Marketing, all of them for coming on board. My crew chief, Greg Newsome, and let's throw a shout out to my wife for dealing with all my testing time this week. So, gotta thank her.
Yeah, definitely. This place requires a lot of practice for sure, and of course, she's probably the one making the true sacrifice. But thanks for your time there, Ryan, and hopefully we'll see you next week at Vegas.
Hopefully, fellas. Yeah, hopefully we can get her down to Vegas. Let's do it.
Alrighty, that was Ryan Strunk, our third place finisher. Next up is going to be our second place driver, Don Avery. Big Al standing by.
Hey Al, how you doing?
Well, seems like we might have lost Big Al there. Don, how you doing tonight, man? Second place, you're able to hold off.
Whoa. I'm here. Back
You
on.
must have stepped away. I thought you was giving it up.
ATVO. Sorry about that. Hey, sorry, Don Avery. This big got up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Hey, good, bud. I was getting ready to say it's starting to become like a regular occurrence here for you and me on Saturday nights talking to each other.
Yeah, I'm glad to be getting in those kind of finishes. Hopefully, it'll continue.
Well, hopefully you'll be able to step it up one day and talk to Mr. Brian Britt there in the leaders in the winner's circle. But man, what a race for you here tonight. You qualified 8th, man, and ironically your last lap was almost as fast as your fastest lap. So talk us through your race here tonight.
I tried everything I could do to wreck that thing. I kept running over the turtles and the back chicane and on the front stretch chicane, and thought I was going to wreck it a couple of times, but I just have a problem getting in that back stretch chicane. That looks like where everybody was making time on me. I felt pretty good on the infield, so that it worked out. We took tires on that first pit stop, didn't take any tires after, and just tried to run out the fuel and take the least amount of fuel there at the end. I was surprised I came out, like 3.5 seconds ahead of Ryan. I was wondering if I had taken enough fuel or not. So.
Yeah, you definitely had it running there at the end, and you were, I do believe, the last driver to come in and finish that pit sequence, making us a little bit nervous, but running that tank out. But how many laps did you put in for preparation this week in order to bring it home with such a strong finish in a road race?
I probably ran, I don't know, 200-300 laps here this week. I didn't have really good finishes in the other races. Thursday night, I messed up really bad at the beginning of the race, but just was able to put this one together today.
Man, and that you did. And that's got to make you feel pretty good because that's going to give you the boost that you need here going into the next rounds of the playoffs. Next week, we head to Las Vegas, right? Are you a gambler? What are you thinking that we're going to be seeing there from the 11 car?
I think we'll be okay. Over Triad, they've been working on the setup all week. I've been running the A Opens at the Roval, but I got in some practice laps the last couple of days, and I think we'll be okay. Hopefully, we'll have some speed there.
All right, so you care to take a stab at where we can see you? Because last week I asked you where you thought you were going to be, and you did not predict on the podium, I don't think. But you are. So where are you going to put yourself next week?
Yeah, I've never really liked the Roval. I didn't figure I was going to do very well here this week at all, but I started kind of liking it this week. As far as Vegas goes, we'll try to keep it clean and just not race too hard the first couple of stages, and hopefully end up, top 5, top 3, hopefully.
Yeah, that's gonna be your recipe for success, man. Congratulations to bringing it home in P2. Congratulations to you and your team for making it to the next round of the playoffs. I hope you guys do have tremendous luck. It's always a pleasure talking to you, man. But before we let you go here, who are you gonna be shouting out for us this evening?
The guys at Triad, there's a lot of talent to pull from over there as far as getting knowledge and setups and help with setups. Stint analyzer, using that every time I get into the car, and you guys up in the booth, and Kenny for putting all this on. And who you got a shout out to, Al?
Hey, I'm going to give another shout out to Sherry. I actually shouted out to her during the race, so I was hoping that she was watching. But like I said, bud, I appreciate everything that you guys do, man, and good luck to you next week, and congratulations again for your second place finish.
Thanks, Al, and a big shout out to Abner up there. He's been doing great running, finishing the top spot a couple weeks there. So
it's always a pleasure, boss.
All righty, that was Don Avery, our second place driver. Next up, the man himself, who Don Avery was just kind of mentioning there, Abner Acosta. I mean, you had a up and down day today. Kind of walk us through it. I mean, you spun out multiple times, but still were able to drive your way back up to the field and still win this race.
Yeah, just kind of pushing too hard on myself. Yes, on that turn one every time. And the second, I felt a little bad because I did ruin my brother's race in there in that second spin, trying to like get back on the track. But I guess he was at least able to get a fourth place. But yeah, don't know if I would have had anything for Pedro before he disappeared. But I am a road guy, so I do enjoy road racing. So glad I was able to take the win.
Yeah, man, looking at your fastest lap, you're actually able to beat, Pedro, and that was right before you had that spin going into turn one. You were able to hit a minute 17.998. I mean, that was incredibly fast. Do you think that might be why you spun? Because you were going so fast right there?
I was looking back to it, and I think I hit the curb on the inside, and I can see like sparks come out of the car. So I think I just hit the curb too hard, and just kind of like turned me around.
That it did, and still we were able to drive your way back up. I think that put you at like a 10-second deficit or something like that, but still you worked your way back up through the field. I mean, you did it several times tonight. I mean, you said it was difficult to pass in your interview earlier. You didn't make it look like it was difficult to pass.
It was difficult not to. In this track, you could be like half a second slower. Yeah, I would say half a second, and you can still hold the guy behind you back, like without you wanting to. It's just there's not a lot of like passing opportunities unless the guy in front makes a mistake. And I guess with the speed that I was going at, my braking markers were way different than the other people that were on the racetrack. So it was difficult to get through. I know I got stuck a couple times behind people, but that's just how this track is. But yeah, I had to do it 2 or 3 times. Definitely kept the race fun. And at the end, I thought my wheel was broken on that last hit, but it was actually fine. So this track, all it takes is just one hit on that right tire and one of those walls, and it can just bend the whole thing. I've done it on practice a million times before. So yeah, just at the end, I was just making sure I didn't make any silly mistakes again and just kind of stay on track.
Yeah, you definitely did a good job at that. And thinking about your pit strategy, why did you choose to go so long and only you pit with like 7 laps to go?
Well, I didn't have any traffic ahead, so I felt like if I pitted, and I came out and I would have came out behind a car, that would I would lose time. So until I would come to traffic, I was not gonna pit. So I never came to traffic at that point. I think I did come a lap earlier. I think I saw a guy, forgot who it was, but I was catching somebody. So I was like, okay, I'm going to pit 1 lap earlier. But yeah, that was pretty much my strategy. I didn't know where I was going to come out. And if I pitted and I came out behind like 2, 3 guys, then it would have slowed down my times.
Yeah, definitely would have for sure, man. Well, now you are, I do believe, out of the last 4 races that you've started here in the ISCA, you have won 3 of them. How does that statistic make you feel?
Sounds good. I mean, I was really shooting for Dega, but got caught early on the incident. And it was fun. It was fun pushing my brother there. I wish I didn't die so early to see how it would have ended. But yeah. Happy with winning. Happy that I'm able to compete and be fast. And happy that I'm able to it's been clean racing so far with everyone. And I know I think it was before Dega, Avery was really fast. He was catching me. So there's definitely a competition. I think out of all of them, out of all the tracks, if I'm gonna pick something that's my strongest, is road. So um, this would have been one that I would kind of say that I would win. The other ones kind of just fell on my lap. But yeah, happy with 3 wins out of 4.
Yeah, definitely. We'll hopefully we can make it 4 out of 5 as we go to Las Vegas next week. How you feeling about that one coming up on the docket?
I feel good. It's definitely not one of my favorite tracks, but I don't hate it. So I don't know if with this car if it's like a draft fest or not. I can't remember. I don't know if I've done it on this car yet. So depending on how it is, it's just staying out of trouble and just be there at the end.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be a mix of that and also probably tire wear, coming into play. So, I mean, knowing you'll probably be really good at that, just considering you're coming from, the fixed, setup side of things. Do you think that does help you out quite a bit?
Yeah, I really do enjoy tire saving on the oval side. I think it's fun just figuring out how to not lose a lot of time, and then 15 laps in you're just passing by everybody. I think that's probably the most fun part about oval that I find. It's just there's different types of strategies. So when I first started oval racing, I remember just me being fast 10 laps, and then everybody would just start getting by me. So I kind of started concentrating on tire saving, and yeah, I think I'm above average in tire saving for sure now. There's definitely still more I need to learn, but yeah, I do enjoy any track that it's like short tracks or like tracks that tires degrade a lot. I do enjoy those a lot.
Well, definitely looks like it for sure, man. Great job to you. Congratulations on your win. Who can we shout out for you tonight?
Yeah, I want to shout out my brother. Sorry for crashing into you. Pandereta Racing Team. I want to shout out to my mom if she's watching. She's also a cancer survivor, so shout out to her and you guys for broadcasting and everybody today for Racing Clean.
All right, Abner. Well, thanks for your time, and glad that you're, good to have your mom being a cancer survivor. I know this is kind of a big month for that. Everybody needs to be aware of, the costs. I mean, even the families have to, sacrifice a lot when it comes to things like that. So you don't wish that on anybody for sure, but definitely glad that she was able to win her fight.
Thank you.
All right, that is Abner Acosta, our winner here for tonight. Great job to him. Great race all around. We saw strategies, every strategy you could pretty much think of. We saw some guys, unfortunately, have to disconnect. We saw some accidents, but not as near as many as we saw, I'd say, on Thursday. Definitely some good racing for about everybody out here. We saw multiple leaders. Big Al, what would you grade this race?
Man, this is definitely an A+, and I'm going to say that strictly because of the racers that we have here in ISCA, whether that be on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays. When these guys show up, man, it's always a clean race, a good race, and it's always a great production. Thank you, my man. You did turn out to be the most gracious assistant, man, and so for that, I'm grateful. Also, give a shout out to our sponsors, Farmers Insurance, as well as the ISCA. And man, can't wait to do it again.
100%. Well, of course, this wraps up our Saturday broadcast here. Is, of course, next week, Thursday, we're going to be heading out to Las Vegas for some gambling at that 1.5-mile track. We don't really know what to expect. Of course, we've seen some excellent 1.5-mile racing with this next-gen car, so I expect no different there for sure. And I'll, of course, tune in around 9:15 when the broadcast actually starts. And, of course, the race itself will start a little bit after 9:30. Same time on Saturday, you'll see these same guys out there duking it out for the championship. Do apologize. I had a frog in my throat there for a moment. But I can't wait. That's going to be awesome to see these guys out there duking it out at Vegas. Of course, moving on to another round and trying to build up some padding to make sure they can get into the next round of the playoffs and go for a championship.
Hey, Brian.
Yes.
And before we do go, for anybody that's watching this that knows anybody that's actually into iRacing, next season is going to be coming along. So, guys, reach out to Kenny Powell if you think that you have what it takes to actually come out here and compete in the ISCA as well.
Yeah, definitely a very good point. Definitely a lot of great drivers out here. And if you feel like you're very talented, you feel like you can come out here and duke it out with these guys, well, I mean, hey, more the merrier for sure. Definitely make sure you reach out to the ISCA on Facebook, or, even reach out to Kenny Powell himself on iRacing. We'll have to hopefully get you in here for sure. And thanks, everybody, for tuning in tonight, and we'll see you next time.